So hey guys, welcome back. So in this lecture we will discuss about the types of the XPath. So there are the two types of the XPath in the Selenium. One we call as the absolute XPath. Second we call as the relative XPath. Now let's understand the difference between these two types of the XPath. Now absolute XPath. The absolute XPath is the direct way to find the elements. Okay. It begins with the single forward slash, which means you can select the element from the root node. You need to go from the root node, and in the HTML DOM, what is the root node is the HTML tag. So you need to traverse from HTML tag to the intended web element tag, and it always start with the single forward slash. So you need to go from top to bottom the HTML document. So here is the one example of the absolute XPath. So if I want to locate the input on the Facebook login page, I need to write that type of the XPath. So it will go from HTML to the intended web element. So I want to locate this input web element. So for that I need to go from HTML root node. So this is the absolute XPath. So now let me show you on the web page. So this is the facebook.com. So let's inspect this username field, and after that it will open the DOM. Now this is the element which we want to locate. So when we are go with the absolute XPath, we need to traverse from the HTML. Now how will you write the XPath here? So you first, once this DOM is open, you press Ctrl F. When you press the Ctrl F, you will see this text box, find by string selector or the XPath. So now we know the absolute XPath start with the single forward slash. Okay, then you need to provide the tag name. So single forward slash and HTML is the tag name. Now it is highlighting the whole HTML page. You can see when I mouse over on this web element, and this is highlighted with the yellow color, and here it is highlighting with the skylight color. Okay, so it is highlighting the whole DOM. Now I want to traverse. So here is my element. I want to reach to this element. Okay, and this element is present in the body. So we are dealing with the element. So this is in the body. We are inside the body. Now we want to go inside the body. So here is the body tag. Okay, in this we have the div. We have the div. Then inside the div we need to go to the div again. Like that you need to traverse. Go from top to bottom, from root node to the intended node. So we will go one by one. Here we are again on the div, and now inside the div we have one more div, and then we have the input. Now you can see it is highlighting this. Is the email, ID is the email. This web locator, if I want to locate with the use of the XPath, absolute XPath, then I need to write this much XPath. Okay, so now you can see this is a very long XPath. So if anyone change anything on the div, so if any element is got removed, okay, then you will see the 0 matches found. So your test script will fail. The very long and the risky XPath we call as the absolute XPath. So now let's understand the disadvantage of using the absolute XPath. Absolute XPath is that if there are any changes made in the path of the element, then that XPath get failed, that we have seen. So this is the biggest disadvantage of using the XPath. So now how to overcome from this problem when we are writing the locator with the XPath? So we have the another type of the XPath which call as the relative XPath. Okay, so let's understand the relative XPath. Relative XPath is the second type of the XPath in the Selenium Webdriver. Now let's understand the properties of the relative XPath. So first, it is start from the middle of the HTML DOM. It is not going to start from the root node. It will start from the middle of the HTML DOM. That means wherever we have the element, it always start from the particular web element. It start with the double forward slash. So this is the big difference between the absolute XPath and the relative XPath. The relative XPath always start with the double forward slash, where the absolute XPath always start with the single forward slash. Now, which means it can search the element anywhere at the web page. So when you write double slash, what is the meaning of the double slash? It means it can search the element anywhere at the web page. That's why we are writing the double slash. Generate the XPath starting from the element. So on the web page, whatever web element you want to locate, directly you can generate the XPath starting from that element only. You no need to traverse from HTML root node to the bottom elements. No need to write the long XPath from the root node. Now let's understand the one point about the relative XPath. The performance point of view, it will be more fast compared to the absolute XPath. And there are some interview questions. What is the difference between the absolute XPath and the relative XPath? Second question is that which XPath start from the single forward slash and the double forward slash? Which XPath is more faster in the Selenium WebDriver? Understand the basic syntax for the relative XPath for the attribute in the web element. So you know the attribute and what is the value of the attribute, you already understood. So now let's write the basic syntax for the relative XPath for the attribute. So first it will start from the double slash. We always say that it start with the double slash. That means search in the entire page. Then the tag name, you need to provide the tag name, and in the bracket. So we have the one bracket, okay. Then @ attribute name and the equal to sign. And in the equal to sign, after the single quote, in the single quote you need to provide the value of the attribute. This is the basic syntax for the relative XPath for the attribute. And here is the example. If I put the double slash star, that will also work. We can search in the entire page. And double slash input @ name equal to vname. So both are the example of the relative XPath. Now here double slash selecting the current element. Tag name of the particular element, bracket. Then @ selecting the attribute, and attribute name of the attribute for the element, and equal to sign, and then the value of the attribute in single quote. So this is the basic syntax, and this is the description of the basic syntax. You can understand. Okay, now let's understand with the example. We will write the relative XPath for this web element. So you understood this was the absolute XPath. Now I will write the relative XPath for this one. So we know the relative XPath start with the double slash. So you put the double slash, then you need to pass the value of the tag name. So let me copy this web element first, then you will understand the more about this one. Paste it here in whiteboard. Okay. So this is our web element which we have copied from the earlier page. Now let me explain this one. Okay. So in this web element, you know the input is the tag name. Okay, input is the tag name. Okay, now how you can write the XPath for this one? So to write the XPath, first thing you need to enter the double slash. After that you need to provide the tag name. So tag name always start from the next to the opening bracket. So this is the less than symbol. So after the less than symbol, whatever you are saying, this is the tag name. So here I am just writing the input. Okay, then second you need to provide the bracket. So this is the opening and this is the closing. Come to inside this bracket. Okay, in this bracket first you need to enter the @ symbol and then attribute name. So now here I need to search the attribute. Suppose I have the name equal to email. This is the one attribute. ID equal to email. This is the second attribute. And placeholder email address or the phone number. So this is the third one attribute. So like that we have the multiple attributes. So now let me design the XPath. How I can design? Okay, so now first design with the name. So name equal to email. So I am just taking this one. After the @ you need to enter the attribute name. So here the attribute is the name, and then equal to symbol, then single quote. Inside the single quote you need to provide this value. So this is the email value. Copy and you need to put here. So this is the one XPath. Okay. Now let me write the second XPath. So XPath start, relative XPath start with the double slash, then my tag name. This is the my tag name. There are n number of XPath you can write for the particular web element. So I'm just going to show one by one manually. Here I am not taking the help of any tool. Okay, because if I take the help of the tool, you cannot understand how to write the strong and stable XPath. So it will be beyond your understanding. But first understand, and then you can use the tool frequently. Now the second XPath I can write. I just write the same thing, and then in the bracket I will type the @ denotes the attribute. So now here I have another attribute is the ID. So I will type the ID, then equal to symbol, then single quote. In the single quote you can type the email. Okay. Now let's write the one more XPath for this one. So again I will write the double slash. Now tag name is the input, then the bracket. Inside the bracket I need to pass the attribute. So attribute is this is the keyword, or this is a static @. Now this is the placeholder. So this time I'm taking the help of the placeholder, then equal to symbol, single quotes, and then copy the as it is. This one. Copy as it is the value of the attribute. Now you can pass it here. Okay. Like that, if you want to write the more XPath, relative XPath for this web element, you can take this area label. Okay. This is also the attribute, and you can pass the value of this one. Like that you can take, but make sure when you're writing the relative XPath you only take the static attributes. Okay. Here is class is there, but this is having the numbers, but maybe the dynamic. So I'm not considering the class. Okay, you can take the type, okay, text, but it will give the whole web element. We need to provide the uniqueness. So unique element we need to find out. So according to me, I have written the 3 best unique relative XPath for this one web element. Now coming to the concept of the start. So I will paste all the web. So here I have all the relative XPath. So these relative XPath you can also change with the star. This will also work. If you don't want to know, and if you don't want to put the tag name, you can put the star here. Okay, so now let's check one by one if they are locating our web element or not. So I'm just going to copy and come to here, and you can paste it here. Okay. Now that means it is highlighting our web element input, and here you can see the one message. So when you are getting the one message, then this is the one unique element present on this web page. So you can use this XPath. Okay. Now let me try with the another. So this is the other XPath. Copy the XPath. Paste it here. Now you can see it is still highlighting the same web element, and it's a one message. You can see double slash input bracket @ ID. Now taking the third one, relative XPath. So just copy this one and try it here. Alright, so you can see one of the one matching, still it's matching with that one. So /input @placeholder. So now if I change something here, so you can put this one. Okay, so now I'm just taking this one star. So will it work with the star or not? Let's see. I'm just going to copy and paste it here. Still you can see there is the one of the one matching. That means star is also working. So if you don't want to put the tag name, then you can put the star instead of writing the tag name. Okay? And you just copy the as it is the attribute equal to attribute value, and in the bracket you can put this one. So like that you can design your own XPath. This is called the relative XPath. Now you observed that this XPath always start from the middle of the web element. It will start from here directly. I'm not going to start from top to the bottom approach. Okay, I started from the middle of the web page or the DOM. This is called the relative XPath in the Selenium, and this is more fast than to the absolute XPath because the driver will directly come here and perform the action.